taxi driver turned to me and he said, Miss, you beg me a drive for go to Spanish Town and you have a turn around and then beg me 20. Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel, Rise with Kadian. Please, please, please like, subscribe and share and turn your post notification on so that you can get notification when we post new videos. Thank you, thank you, thank you for all the support so far. Thank you for watching the videos, but I would like you please, 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 please to subscribe, like and share. Turn that notification bell on. Tonight we are going to be talking about struggles. As the title of the video suggests, the struggle is real. So went to nursing school, graduated from nursing school, happy, glad bag bus. Things are gone. Girl just up in our white uniform, gonna work, look posh. Yes, things are going good for the first year or so, working in one of the most prominent hospitals back there in Jamaica. And then things started to get rough. Made some very poor decisions, taking loans out to do stuff that didn't work out. So by maybe my second year working, I had like 4 or 5 loans. So every month when I get my pay, these loans would be coming out of my salary. I would work so much money, do so much overtime, but at the end of the month I am not taking home any money. So I found myself in a position where I could not pay my bills. All I could do was pay all these loans. All these loans were coming out of my pay. So I couldn't buy food for my kids. I couldn't pay any of my bills. I couldn't even send myself back to work for the month, right? And a lot of people where I used to work, they knew some of the things that were happening to me. I would borrow like money from people. Hey, can you lend me $1,000? And I would find it very difficult to repay that money, not because I'm a bad person and I don't want to repay people if they lend me something, but I just didn't have it. And while some people knew that I really didn't have it, there were those people who thought that, well, I just stay bad, borrow people things and just now I'm getting back. So of course people write me off. So I was on a blacklist. Of course people would talk about me all the time, but don't really care what people want to say. But people would just talk about me, talk about my situations. I remember one day I would be late going to work. And it's not because I wanted to be late. It's not because I was tardy or anything. But I remember couldn't even finding my fare to go to work. I didn't have a car. I took public transportation. And I remember couldn't even finding my fare, my bus fare, my taxi fare to get to work. So that made me late because I had to wait on the drivers who were willing to give me a free ride to wherever I was going. So that made me very late sometimes for work. I couldn't buy lunch at work. I couldn't buy food. Sometimes I would send my kids to my mom and I would stay at my house by myself because I know that if they're at my mom, They are going to be okay. They are going to be fed. So big up yourself, Miss Janet. Thank you for everything that you have done for me. As you always say, every time when you get upset, you know me? Me name Janet, Mother Earth this. Well, big up yourself, Mother Earth. Thank you, thank you, thank you so much. Because you're always there for your kids no matter what. Thank you, my mother. Thank you. So I would send my kids to my mom. I would stay at home by myself. I know they were taken care of. I remember even one morning I took my eldest daughter to, I followed her to put her on the taxi. She was going to school, but I didn't have any bus fare for her to go to school. I didn't have any taxi fare to pay the taxi driver. And I remember saying to the taxi driver, can you take my daughter to Spanish Town for me? And he said yes. And then I turned around and I said to him, and can you give her $20 to pay her fare to go on the bus? And the taxi driver turned to me and he said, Miss, you beg me a drive for go to Spanish Town and you have a turn around and then beg me $20 to for pay a bus fare? I'm say yes. I go beg you $20 for pay a bus fare. And I sent my child to school that day. Didn't know how she was gonna come back home. I didn't know what she was gonna eat for her lunch. But I would always pray to God and I would always say, God, please, 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 I'm asking you, please, don't let my daughter go out of the way. Don't let her turn to men for the things that she need. Please, please keep her. I remember sometimes my daughter would have to walk from like 5 o'clock in the morning from my house to go to my mom's house to get her money to go to school. Like if I asked my mom, I said, could you give her lunch money for today? And if she had it, then she would have to just walk and go get it. It was really tough living in Jamaica. I remember also that there was this one lady that sell at the school gate right at Denontown High School. Miss Urfa, big up yourself. Big up yourself, Miss Urfa. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you so much for everything that you have done for me. I will forever be grateful to you. Big up yourself. Yes, Miss Urfa. Sometimes the only thing that I would eat for 24 hours would be the food that Miss Urfa gave me the morning that I see her. Yes, and she never frowned. She was never upset. She was always willing to help me. I remember even one day I called her on her phone and I'm like, Urfa, I'm in a bus coming. Can you give me $100? And I would tell the conductor that, well, when I reach my stop, I would pay my fare. And that lady would always just give me the money and I would pay my bus fare. And it was so hard for me. And I decided that, well, I have to leave Jamaica. I have to go somewhere so that I can make a breakthrough. Don't get me wrong, their life is in Jamaica. We live very good lives in Jamaica, but I was in a position where I felt that I had to leave to get a change or to get a break then, because I was under so much pressure, under so much stress. Of course, my family didn't know some of the things that I was going through. I remember even my mom thought that I didn't want to help her or I was unkind to her, but she didn't understand that I really didn't have it to help her. So I used to get groceries from a lady that had a shop I would pay her like when I get paid. Sometimes if I have money, I would pay her. I remember one time I almost owed her like 20,000 Jamaican dollars for her shop bill, and she said to me, you know, I'm so worried that you're not going to be able to pay this bill. But she would never turn me away. She would never say no, whether I'm there or not. I could send my kids and she would always give them whatever I asked for. I remember one Sunday I was cooking my dinner after I had already gone to this lady at the shop, and I'd already asked her to credit me stuff, and she gave me the food items that I needed, and then my gas was finished. And then I went back to her and I asked her if she had the gas that I used, because of course she was so kind to me, she would credit me the gas, but she didn't have the gas that I used. And this lady went into her cash register and she took out the money for the gas and she gave it to me, and she said, here is the money, go and buy the gas. I just feel like God positioned people in places to help me along the way. Every step of the way, there was always somebody to help me along the way. I struggled real hard. At one point at my job, I was labeled as a thief because everybody knew that I was struggling. I would never thief anything from anybody. If I want something, I would always ask for it. But for some reason, I was labeled as this thief. Everything that went missing, it was my name called, and everything that was missing. I remember my friend lose her money in my department, and I was told, wasn't there, but I was told that she said, so how come I lose my money today and my friend Katie and not there? That was how bad it was. Everybody thought that I was a thief. I remember one night I left work and I was going home, and the matron called me on my cell phone to ask me if I took up this nurse purse. Didn't know anything about it. I remember one Saturday I left work and I was going home, and somebody was texting my phone telling me to bring back her phone, and how she knew that I was the one who took up her phone. It was so bad. It was really bad. I was so frustrated. I didn't know what to do. I started asking people questions. I said, before I came here, were people losing their stuff in here? And one person I asked, she said, no, nobody was losing anything in here. I asked other people because I was so frustrated. I was just asking everybody, were people losing stuff here before I came here? Why does everybody think that I am this great thief? But it's all because they knew that I was struggling. They knew that I would borrow money from people and not have it to give them back. So there was all this talk about me all over the facility that I worked at. Everybody knew who I was. I'm not proclaiming to be a saint. I would always defend myself if I needed to. So I'm known for being the person who defends herself. Some people doesn't like that about me, but that's fine. So I just decided, well, I have to get a break. There is something that has to be done. I have to leave. And I went in search of a job, and I ended up in Bermuda. I remember when I was looking about my paperwork to go to Bermuda, there was this one lady in the OR. She would always talk to me. She would always encourage me. and said, Kadian, just press along, press along. And she helped me. She helped me so much. I had to do my BLS training, and that lady gave me the money. She said, I don't have any money, but somebody gave me a $50 US and I'm gonna give it to you. And she gave me that money, and I went and I did my BLS so that I can send off that paperwork to Bermuda. I remember when I had to do my nursing license, I went to somebody in the hour that I worked in, and I wrote a note to the person, and I said, if you would lend me this money, I would give it back to you at X time. And somebody went to the lady, someone who I thought was my friend too, went back to the person and told her not to lend me the money. But luckily, as I said before, God always positioned people in places to help me. So of course the lady lent me the money, and I did keep my word. I paid her back when I said I would. So I'm not bad. I just didn't have money to pay people back that I borrowed most of the time when I borrowed it. It's not because I didn't want to. I genuinely did not have it. So I decided, yeah, I have to leave. I got through to go to Bermuda, did my interviews, did my paperwork and everything, and I got through. So I said, well, I'm gonna go. And so I went to Bermuda, and I started, well, let me tell you how I got to go to Bermuda. First of all, they paid my airfare and everything. I left Jamaica with $30 US to my name. I took a JUTC bus to the airport because the one person who had a car and could help to take me to the airport decided that they were not going to take me. So I had to take the bus. So of course I got up very early in the morning. I remember it was my two children and my niece that went with me to the airport. I took the bus to the airport. Didn't have a taxi like everybody else, but I was fine. I went to the airport and I catch my flight, and I went on to Bermuda to start my new journey. I just want to say to somebody tonight, today, this afternoon, this morning, whatever time you're seeing this video, all is not lost. It doesn't matter what you're going through. It doesn't matter what people think about you. It's not the present, but it's the future. So just rise above tonight. Just rise with me. No matter what you're going through, I have risen above so many challenges, and I just want to encourage you tonight that you too can rise above. You too can be that person that God wants you to be. As I said before, God positioned people in places to help me along the way, so he can do the same or even better for you. Just push through. Rise up. Rise with me. Thank you for watching my video. Look out for part 2 when I worked in Bermuda. God bless you. Like, subscribe, and share. Encourage somebody to rise above. Blessings.